everybody. Our journey to home selling continues this afternoon. We've arrived at the appraisal and the closing process. Brendan Cold Iron, broker and owner of Next Home Cold Iron Group, is back with us to take us seamlessly through this part of the adventure. Okay, so prior to closing, you've got to have an appraisal done, correct?
Correct. You do have to have an appraisal done. It is done by a licensed appraiser. They are regulated by the state, just like us.
Okay, so what does the appraiser do exactly?
The appraiser is going to search for comps that are similar to your property.
Okay.
And as far as features, the square footage, the year built, bed, bath, garage.
So essentially, the appraiser determines the value of your home. And is it all, I mean, it's kind of a lot, that's a lot riding on the appraiser, right?
In real estate, essentially, they have the last say in what the house is really worth. They go through and do a report based on adjustments against the comparables, either plus or minus on the subject property, which is the house you're selling.
Okay. Do they come to your house and look at it and everything?
Yes, they do. They come through your house. They're usually not there that long. They do an inside inspection, just visually real quick, and an outside inspection, looking for any repairs that certain government loans, such as FHA or VA, might require.
Okay.
Chipping paint, broken windows, those type of items.
And are those things, those are going to decrease the value of your home, right?
Not necessarily decrease the value, but they'll have to be repaired prior to closing.
Okay.
And if a license is required, they need to be done by a licensed contractor.
Okay, and then they base their report on the true value of, that's what it's valued at.
Their report is true value. Sometimes we can get a rebuttal if we find similar comps that maybe they didn't have access to, but pretty much it's ironclad on what the value is.
And so tell everybody why that matters. So if you're getting a loan, right, for your
Yes.
home, the bank will only loan you as much money as the home is appraised for, right?
Correct. So if it values at $100,000 and your contract price is $125,000, you're going to have a shortage. And if it's a FHA or VA loan, the addendum states that the buyer won't pay more than appraised value. So most of the times we do have to negotiate that sales price from $125,000 to $100,000. And so in our office, we want to give you as true value when you list it, so that we don't have that big shortage.
Because that can be really problematic at the end.
I can come in and say, hey, I could list your house for X amount, and it's only worth X amount, and then you're mad when we get the appraisal done.
Because if you're not getting a cash offer, then it doesn't matter.
Essentially.
Okay.
No.
All right, let's talk about closing day. Prior to closing, what do you need to do?
You'll get a settlement statement generally 3 days before closing, and it's going to have all your fees and charges on there, such as, real estate commissions, the closing fee, and you are responsible for prorated taxes from January 1 till the day of closing. Okay,
so that's something to keep in mind. That's the seller is responsible for that.
And then the buyer's responsible for the day of closing to December 31st.
Okay, talk about in our area, the seller is the person who pays the title policy.
Areas specific in our area, generally the seller always provides a title policy, which ensures the title from the day of closing backwards.
Okay.
If there were any debts or liens that weren't found. Sometimes new construction, the builders won't provide the title policy, and that would be another cost for the buyer.
Okay. And then at the day of closing, or a few days prior, you go and you sign that title at the title.
Actually, you would sign it on whatever day your actual closing day is.
Okay.
And if you're out of town, we actually have mobile notaries that can come to you, or if you're moving out of state, we also can get that done.
Okay, and so once you've signed that and the money's been transferred?
Once the buyer's mortgage is at the title company, you are no longer the owner.
So that's easy peasy, huh? As long as you have a great real estate agent, right?
Yes.
Okay, next week, what are we doing?
We're doing home staging.
Oh my gosh, this is what I'm so excited about, by the way.
We're going to just do some home staging tips on if you're ready to get your house sold, then you can take our advice and use some of our ideas.
I think even if you're not selling a house, though, these kinds of tips are really beneficial.
It's always beneficial, for sure.
For sure.
And any questions, call us at 806-410-1361.
Beautiful. Thanks for
coming. I'll see you next week.
We will see you then. All right, we've got more Studio 4 on the way, everybody. Stick around. Have you ever thought about Invisalign?